should I start? Okay. Alright. Today, we're at the gravesite of Jane McCrea, who on July 27, 1777, was killed by Ottawa Indians. There's a lot of conjecture as to what happened. She was supposed to be married. She was looking for her husband. Her and a family friend went looking down by where the Storts is, in Fort Edward, the house right there. Traveled up the hill to where the school is now. Apparently got attacked by marauding Indians, as they say. Chased back down to the house. Then she was taken captive and taken away to be held hostage, as they did back then, for reward. Somewhere in between that, she was shot, scalped, and tomahawked, and in some order. Now, she was only 17 at the time this happened. Now, before the canal was built on Route 4, she was buried there where they found her. Then they moved her to a cemetery in Hudson Falls. But then, when this cemetery opened up in Fort Edward, they decided they needed a celebrity. So they dug the poor girl up and replanted her here, in this section right here. And the thing is, sadly enough, she wasn't buried by herself. She was buried with the remains of Sarah McNeil, who was the older lady who went with her on a very bad visit. Now, the thing is, and this is a very sad story. Killed by Indians. Some claim that it was someone trying to save her, accidentally shot. No one. I looked up a lot of facts. A lot of people think that's just hooey, as they say. Now, this is the thing. In the 1990s, they dug her up as part of an archaeological survey, and that's when they discovered she was buried with the bones of Sarah McNeil, which was a common practice in Europe back in the 1700s. And I assume, at least, that maybe when they dug her up back to bury her here, they didn't know what to do with her. They didn't know McNeil was there, maybe. I don't know. But either way, they did it the wrong way. And in the process, she either lost her head, or it was taken by a physician somewhere in the 1800s for study. This girl has been through a lot, Jane McCrea. And she's been dragged around. In the Revolutionary War, she was basically used as propaganda by the Americans as, look how horrible these people are. And some people claim that it didn't happen, but other people claim it did. Either way, she was used for her whole life pretty much after she died, for one purpose or the other. And I guess I'm here to just see if maybe there's any sign of her being there, and how she, I don't know, what might happen. So we have the ghost tube on, and we're gonna kind of put it in there and see if we can see anything. Now, the iron bars on this gate might throw it off if I get too close. So, we're gonna have to do it from this side and walk around, and hopefully see if anything happens. Do you see anything?
Yes, but it's just, like you say, the gate and the flag.
Yes. Now, to my knowledge, no one's ever done anything like that here. So, and while we're here, that is Duncan Campbell, who died in 1750-something in a fight at Ticonderoga. Now, he was a Scottish Highlander who fought for the French in the French and Indian War. Then he got wounded, and they dragged him back here, where he died. He is related to McNeil by marriage. He is her brother-in-law. And McNeil is here because she came over with her husband, supposedly, to try to find him, bring his body back. But somehow the husband never made the journey or died. Anyway, she was here by herself. This is a whole big tragedy right here. Like, literally, you cannot write this today without people saying you made that crap up. But it happened. And it's sad, but it's not unusual for the time. This is the most famous kind of incident of such an attack and things that happened. I found incidents in Argyle, in Hudson Falls, Fort Ann, everywhere. It happened. You cannot go for a walk for a long time around here without worry of possibly being killed. So I think if there's anything there, it could show up today. Now, and after this, I'm going to do an EVP session, and we'll see what happens there. But we're not going to hold our breath, and hopefully Jane is peacefully wherever she deserves to be. I'm sure she's in heaven somewhere. She definitely deserves it. But this was real. This happened. I mean, it just tells you maybe it was too far away. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah. This was real. Stuff happened back then. I mean, she came up here to live with her brother. He died, sadly. She still has relatives in the area. They erect monuments to her once in a while and update things. So she's not forgotten. And that at least is a good thing. Especially considering the circumstances. But you gotta think about this. I mean, no one knows what she looked like, but in all the stories, the hair gets longer, she gets prettier, the story gets sadder. No one really knows a lot of the facts, so they make them up. The only fact we really do know is that unfortunately she was murdered. And died like this. It says friend of Jane McCrea and Sarah McNeil's headstone. And that's what she was. And that's why they were buried together. So, we're going to do this. And we're going to finish this up. And then we're going to get some hot chocolate. Because we're getting very cold. Because it's about 30 degrees out today. Now, I don't think we got anything, but that's a good thing. But, if we had, we could have some good questions for her. And I'm going to do a quick EVP session, but not very long, because as you can see, we're sort of shivering here. But, in all respect to Jane and Sarah and Duncan, these were their lives. Duncan was about 50-something years old when he got shot and killed. Basically in a war. Sarah died of natural causes. And, of course, we know Jane's story. They were all real people. And that should not be forgotten. And they shouldn't be characterized or taken advantage of. But, hopefully, we're not going to be moving her around much anymore. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy this.